Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna take a look at Shotcut animations, actual animations. We're gonna move stuff around. It's gonna be graphics, it's gonna be very simple animations, but it's animations. I'm gonna start with the folder that I created for this project. Just make a folder yourself to keep the overview. We're gonna start Shotcut. We're gonna drag in a video, add the timeline, drag the video to the timeline. We're gonna disable toolbar and title bar so we have more space to look at. And I'm just going to save this project just so we have it. The animations are created using HTML overlays with JavaScript, and I created a GitHub project for this. On one hand, so it's easier to maintain, on the other hand, so it's a definite location as opposed to Mega or Mediafire or something like that. No misleading ads here. You have to follow the link in the description of this video, or you can try to Google shotcut-animate. Maybe you will find the repository on GitHub. And here on the right hand side, in the current design, you have to press the green thing and then the download zip link. Alright, and it will download a zip file. I'm going to ask you to open this in a new window and then just navigate inside of the folder and just copy all the files in here. Just copy them to your project folder. Alright, these are some graphics, arrows, and scripts. We can close the zip file again. We can also delete this zip file, but you should keep it around for later. The README you don't need. We're just going to remove it. And now we're going to start adding animations. For now, we're just not going to worry about where the animation takes place. We are just going to go to View, Filters, and we're going to add a filter. Press the plus while the clip is selected in the timeline. Here we go. Now you will probably have to go to the Video Filter section by pressing the icon here, and then scroll down to Overlay HTML. It's alphabetical. I recommend you hit the star on the left-hand side of the title so you have it in your favorites. Then you can just easily click it here, Overlay HTML. And here it is. Now I'm in version 18.3.06. I recommend you do not use WebVFX JavaScript extension. For me, it just freezes Shotcut and I can never recover. It seems unnecessary, so just leave this out. Instead, press Open, and open in your project folder. Remember all the files you extracted? Just open the arrow_right.htm file. Now you should see the arrow depending on where in the clip you are. And let's just play this back. This is a 13 seconds video, but it should be all right. So as you can see, the arrow jumps into the frame and bounces out. That's one of the nice features. You have these bouncy animations you can use. And yeah, it just takes its time. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to try to reduce the time it takes to come in and bounce out. I want it to point out the moment where the horse starts shaking here. And for better understanding at what point we want it to stop animating, we should open the arrow_right.htm file in a text editor. I do not recommend that you use the shotcut edit feature here. It will open a window where you can edit the file. However, it adds things like it replaces the single quote here with a double quote, replaces these quotes with ampersand quote semicolon. This seems kind of dangerous to me, so just don't use that. I recommend you use Notepad++ on Windows or gedit on Linux or Mac. I'm going to use Notepad++ here, and I'm just going to drag arrow right into the editor here. And we can see it starts at 0 and ends at 0.75, so at 75% of the clip length, the movement stops around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this filter and we're going to try to find the shake. Okay, here it starts. Let's see, where does it start? There. So now we kind of want to add 25% to that. I think we're just going to go to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Now we're going to split. And while this clip is selected, let's just zoom in a little. While this is selected, we're going to add the overlay effect again. That's why I added it to my favorites. I'm going to pick Open, going to pick the arrow right again. And let's take a look at it now. This seems a bit quick. I think I underestimated how long it still moves. So let's instead try to resize these clips. There we go. All right, let's check. Let's press reload just in case and try this out again. Yeah, this is better timing, but still a bit too late. I mean, too early. So let's resize it some more. That was too late now. So let's just reload the script again. Hopefully that'll fix it. Alright, this works fine. Now I think it starts a bit too early, so let's split the clip here, remove it from the left side, and reload it on the right side, and just take a look again. And let's see, it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Let's try it again. Yep, good timing, good timing. So let's keep looking at this clip. Let's go to the end. It will shake one more time, and at that point I would like there to be another arrow. So horsey standing around and shake. So we're gonna start the arrow here and end it around there maybe. Yeah. Alright. So let's try adding what we already added. Overlay HTML. Open the script file. Alright, what do I think of the timing? I think the timing is okay. But the arrow is a bit too far on the left, so let's move it to the right. For this, we're going to create a new script file. We're going to copy the HTML file, arrow right, going to become arrow right 2. We're going to drag it into our text editor. And here we're going to take a look at what's happening. We have the image over here. It has been configured via CSS so that the center point is where the arrow points to. This is done with WebKit transform translate. And here data animate, that's the interesting part. This is an animation and it has information about the time relative to the duration of the clip. It has the name of the animation. There is a lot to pick from. We have here ease out circular, ease in out bounce. You can try these all out. We're going to try out some of these later. And here you have the 0% and 100%, which is the beginning and the end of animation. And here you can define opacity, which is how transparent the image is, and location. And it starts on the left-hand side from outside the frame at 50% height. And at the end of animation, it is in the center of the image. So let's move it to the right. Since this is left CSS, we're going to set this to 75. Let's try that. We're going to save this with Control S. Go back to Shotcut, and we have to actually remove this one and add the overlay again because we created a new script file, a new HTML overlay file. So we're gonna remove and add the overlay HTML effect again and open the arrow right 2. Let's take a look. And it's a bit too far to the right. So we're gonna reduce this to 65%. Hit reload, and yeah, this is much better. Take a look. Great. I'm just going to save a project. Let's take a look again. Yep, quite good, quite good. And now what I don't like about this is how the arrow just disappears. Blink, it's just a cut. So we're going to add another animation to this. We're going to use, again, arrow right 2. And what we're going to do is, you have to be very careful to not destroy the file. So before the line where the script file is loaded, before the greater than sign, we're going to add a new line and another. And now we're going to write data animate2 equals, and then we're just going to copy this part, including the single quotes. And here we're going to do the animation from 0.75 to 1.0. For now, we're going to try ease out bounce, and we're going to set, what are we going to do? We're going to try to just move it to the outside of the screen, which will be with this, okay, 125% should be right. Oh yeah, of course, we need to make this position be where it ended in the first animation. So this needs to be 65. That ought to fix it. Alright, so now we're just going to restart the project, save it and restart it. Let's hope this fixes it. Yep. We can see, if we pay close attention, that at this point it really jumps to the right. But this is a rather weird animation to exit. So let's try out something else. For example, ease in out sign. No, let's try ease in sign. We're going to write this in here for data animate 2. Hit Control S. Hit reload in here. And what you're going to do? Alright, so this looks pretty okay. Zoom. Well, if you like it, that's good. In my opinion, an arrow should not move unless it's actually pointing to something. So what we're going to do up here in the front, we're going to do something different for this animation. It also just disappears. Yep, we're just going to make it fade out. We're going to make another copy of arrow right. Going to call it arrow right 3. Drag it into the editor. And again, we're going to create some space for a new data animate. We're going to copy data animate. Remember to rename it to data animate 2. We're going to update the start position, 75, end position, 1.0. Ease out bounds. No, I don't want this. I want linear tween in this time. That's how that works. And now we're gonna not change the position. We're gonna copy the position from this 50% to 50%. Okay, so this is the initial position. Actually, let's try leaving out the position at all, because we're not gonna try to animate this. We're gonna instead try to animate the opacity only. Opacity 1, opacity 0. Gonna hit Control S and go back. And now we're gonna have to replace this. Yeah, I guess the easiest way is to just remove this and add it again. Open file, arrow right 3. And now let's take a look at it. Zoom in and fade out. Very nice. Zoom in and fade out. And we can even change this to, let's fade from, yeah, we can actually fade while it's still easing in, because in my opinion it should disappear a bit sooner. Let's just start from 0.5 and even end sooner. Let's end at 0.8. Let's reload it in here and play it back. Zoom in and fading out. Very nice, much better. So rather than trying to move around clips, I would recommend you try to do it in the script. And this one just flies away. That's fine too. So now we're going to do an actual complex animation. Let's just take a look at the horse's mouth. It's over here, over there, over there. We're going to try to give the horse a speech bubble and move it around. This is going to be quite a little bit of work. Let's start here. No, let's start here. And here. And there. Alright, there. We're going to do the cuts. 1, 2, 3. So kind of 3 steps in between. So first of all, we're going to create a speech bubble, and I'm going to use Inkscape for that. Could also do it in GIMP. I'm more proficient with Inkscape, but I'm going to export this one as a PNG, not an SVG, because I don't really trust SVG fonts regarding performance and stability and consistency. We're going to go with the classic herder I'm a horse text. There we go. Just going to make sure this thing has a white background. Yes, it does. Just going to save it. Here we go. Going to call it speech.png, and the size maybe, is this too much? Let's go for 440 width. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so now we're going to prepare a script file for this. We're going to use the arrow down. Let me just show you what arrow down does. If we add overlay HTML, open arrow down, this one just goes down. I want it because its center point is at the bottom of the image. So we got our speech.png file. We're going to use the arrow down to make a copy. Control drag speech.htm. Going to drag it into our editor. First things first, we're going to replace the image file with speech.png. Save it. Go back to shotcut, remove the filter, add the filter again, open a script, and add speech. Alright, cool. It's a bit small, but that's good enough for me. So now we're going to start, find its starting position. We're going to use Alt arrow key left to go to the leftmost position. And now we got to estimate where it's located. I think it's about 50% in the center and maybe 10 or 20, 15% from the top. So we're going to start at left 50%, that's fine, top 15%. We're going to also lengthen this to end being 1.0. And instead of ease out bounds, let's see what makes sense. Let's try ease in out bounds, maybe that'll work. Save it, reload it, take a look. Okay, this was not okay. Huh, interesting. I think we will have to use linear, but interesting to see. So this is too high, and perhaps the height here is not correct. Let's just remove the height. Let's just make it use the pixel size. We can also remove width. We're going to reload it. Okay, it's a bit bigger now, that's good. And we're going to move it further down. So instead of 15, let's do 20%, 25%. Reload, okay. Let's do 35%. Let's do 40%, I mean. Okay, that's actually too much. 35 it is. Perfect. And maybe a bit to the left. 45. Actually, I think we might be overdoing it because we're not at the complete start. Okay, this is good. So now we're gonna have to find what's the next location. Okay, at this moment, which is about 10% of the clip length, we're gonna add a new a change to its current activity. So let's do 10%, and then it's gonna be at the same location. And then how long does it take to go to the next point? We're basically making keyframes now. Okay, let's keep going, stop. So this is about 20%, so at 30%, it's gonna be not, I think it's the same height. We can reduce the height by maybe 3%, and it's going to 65% from the left, I think. That ought to be good. Let's reload, check it out. Yeah, that seems good. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, that's weird. Okay, this actually worked. What? Who told you to do that? Actually, I'm gonna move you further down, 40%. And then from here, I want you at about 60% of the time. Let's copy another line, 60%. Copy these values from above. We're just making sure that these are the same, because between 30 and 60% of the speech bubble has to not move. And now let's see. From here, it moves to over here. Okay. This is about 80% of the time. We're going to add another line. And this time it moves to about 50%. Is it? Yeah, 50% of the screen. And it's does it move up? Yeah, let's try this. Let's just save this. Let's reload it here and take a look. Herder, I'm a horse. Too slow, too slow. So this is not 60%, maybe 55. You know what? We need to get away from ease in out bounds. This is just a bit ridiculous. Let's do linear tween instead. Let's reload and try it out. Okay, this is more decent. Herder, I'm a horse. Move to the... What? Okay, so this needs to move at 80% much more to the left. Let's do 40. You know what, let's just focus on the end position now. I think we can't work with the frames between 80 and 100% if we don't fix the end position. So this is going to be about 30% from the left. And 40% from the top maybe. Okay, reload. Okay, more to the left. 25%. Let's do some more. 22%. Perfect. Alright, now let's take a look at this animation. Herder, I'm a horse. And it disappears there. That's not so great. Alright, let's take a look at the whole. Alright, you know what? This is good enough for me for a hand-created keyframe animation where you actually write down the frames. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the final frame zeroed out, and also here, the opacity, so it will fade in. Yeah, I got to reload, of course. Herder, I'm a horse. Herder, I'm a horse. Herder, I'm a horse. Beautiful. These kinds of animations you can also, of course, use for intros. I think I'm going to make a video for that. And then we can take a look at all these eases there. So thank you for checking out this video. I hope you have fun using animations. It might seem a bit complicated, and it is, but for now it's the best thing we can use. Please subscribe to support this channel. Good luck with your animations, and I'll see you next time. Until then, ciao!